Thank you so much. It is a real honor to be speaking to you all today. In remote and isolated mountains, nature's experiments create unique forms of life. Among them, a red, black, and white wolf, the Ethiopian wolf, living in the tropical highlands of Africa, where also giant rosette plants, giant lobelias, grow, as well as giant burrowing mole rats, the giant mole rat, which at 2 pounds in weight is the main sustenance to Ethiopian wolves, and in this case, diligently attended by a mountain chat. These and many other intriguing species are found nowhere else in the world but Ethiopia. And it's not just the endemic flora and fauna that makes the Ethiopian highlands so precious. These highlands are the origin of many springs and rivers that flow into the lowlands, supplying water to millions of Ethiopians and beyond. With its most dramatic expression in the Blue Nile, which is the source of the Nile. These mountains are home to people and traditional livelihoods who still rely on local natural resources. Take these women in northern Ethiopia, for instance, collecting charanfe bushes that they use as fuel for their stoves. They are also sacred places for some, and places of astounding beauty, like the Simien Mountains with its infinite escarpments. High mountains are refuges for biodiversity and sources of vital resources. Yet, worldwide, they are increasingly threatened by the loss and degradation of natural habitats and increasingly by climate change. There are 500 Ethiopian wolves left in these mountains today, and they live nowhere else. We like to call them the gardens of the roof of Africa. And the roof of Africa because Ethiopia harbors 90% of the land about 10,000 feet in the continent. When we help the wolves, we are helping the communities and the mountains they live in. Today, we want to tell you about the work we're doing. We are in this together, after all, with all of you that support Ethiopian wolves. So today, we want to thank you from our hearts. Galatuma. Amasekenalo. Gracias. The story of EWCP started in 1987 when I was recruited to carry out research in the Bale Mountains. Here I am in one of my early camps with some prestigious company, including my university professor. At the time, we knew very little about the wolves. But by closely observing many wolf packs and studying their behavior, I learned bit by bit many fascinating aspects of their lives. Still today, our wolf monitors follow some of those same techniques I applied then, and the very same wolf packs that I was studying, and we learn something new all the time. It was exciting to discover, for instance, that, and it's a continuous source of pleasure for while we watch them, that these wolves are highly social. They rely on intricate socializations to bond their family bonds. They can live in groups of up to 17 adults with as many as 7 pups. And typically those pups are those of the dominant female in the family. Around the den and around these socializations, they spend lots of time playing and greeting and grooming, which is essential in developing those social bonds. They also share the high energetic burden of raising a litter of 6 or 7 pups, and everyone contributes to that. Family lineages can persist for many years. Take, for instance, the first pack we named, the BBC pack. It took its name from a BBC production of natural history that took place in 1987. That pack, the BBC pack, is still going strong, although it has split into 3 different packs by now. The interesting and intriguing thing is that while Ethiopian wolves are strictly gregarious, They hunt alone. And here we have some pups waiting for food to arrive. The wolves will spend hours foraging and perfecting methods to catch enough rodents for the sustenance and that of the pups. And those rodents are extremely abundant in these apparently barren looking open spaces in the mountains. And this successful hunter got a giant mole rat that will provide enough sustenance for the day. I got to know many wolf families during my doctoral studies, and some of them quite intimately. So when in 1991, many of those animal friends died from rabies, a sense of sadness and urgency overwhelmed me. And that, in a way, was a trigger for me to start EWCP to help save this wolf from extinction. Since then, there have been many other outbreaks, bringing each time a sense of deja vu. Here is our younger selves with some of our colleagues in Dinsho, the EWCP headquarters. Every new outbreak, however, finds us better prepared. We are better at detecting outbreaks. We are better at diagnosing them, and we even now have our own customized field lab. And we are better at intervening, capturing, and vaccinating many wolves. But we cannot afford to be complacent. As people, their animals, and wildlife get closer and closer, opportunities for disease to spill over continue to increase. The rise of coronavirus, in this case, COVID-19, is a sad reminder that this threat will not go away. Last year, we faced the most dramatic outbreak yet, as both rabies and distemper simultaneously infected the largest wolf population in Bali. What do we do about this? Central to our work is trying to prevent disease to get to the wolves and to protect them, people and their livestock. We vaccinate large numbers of dogs, and this is not an easy task because these dogs can be quite feisty. Every year we vaccinate against rabies and canine distemper, and in doing that we provide a cordon sanitaire to protect the wolves. But COVID-19 is now affecting everything and everyone. To protect ourselves and the local communities we work with, we had to suspend many of our regular activities, including vaccination of domestic dogs. However, the wolves cannot wait. Unmanaged outbreaks, particularly if they happen close to each other, without time for recovery, can drive a population to extinction. With a carefully crafted COVID-19 protocol and support from the government, we got approval last month for our teams to go out to the mountains to vaccinate the wolves without the need to handle them or come close to them, because we are using an oral vaccine now, which is a great development. This month, another 5 family packs were vaccinated in Bali, and currently our teams are vaccinating 5 families in Mens, which is a remote wolf range in central Ethiopia. Here they are, observing social distancing and sticking to the rules. The vaccine is hidden in an edible sachet inside a meat bait. And when the wolves find them, unknowingly, they get the protection while enjoying a meaty snack. Let's celebrate the work our vet teams do, which has been at their busiest this year. Wildlife, domestic animals, and people, they are all involved in quite intricate relationship when it comes to diseases and disease transmission, because many pathogens can jump between people and animals and from animals and people. So that requires an integrated approach, which we know as One Health. And this is very much the model for all the health work we do in Ethiopia. With one of the highest incidents of rabies in the continent, many people and livestock dies in Ethiopia every year. Our dog vaccination campaigns are helping wolves and helping people, saving people's lives and saving livestock. It was heartbreaking again at the end of last year when we estimated that around 80 wolves had died due to the combination of rabies and distemper. Fortunately, we are now quite advanced with our pilot trials of a distemper vaccine that we should be able to deliver as well to the wolves. And we are hopeful that by vaccinating wolves against distemper, we will have another tool in our toolbox that will best prepare us for the future. However hard these stories are, they had happy outcomes, many of those. And for example, most of our wolf packs in Vale bred well after the episodic and had puppies galore. We want to share some stories about resilience that give us hope and belief that our collective efforts pay. So I'd like to pass you over to Jorgelina, my dear colleague and wife, that will continue with this presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So this is the story of Terefe, an unlucky wolf from the Simien Mountains. I was in Simien this February, and we visited the Ainameda pack. We were delighted to discover that this pack had 2 healthy juveniles, and this is a rare sighting in these areas. We couldn't imagine that a month later, one of the 2 adult males would suffer a brutal attack. We found these wolves seriously injured from a gunshot, and we thought with little chances of survival. But Terefe, which means the lucky survivor in Amharic, showed the amazing resilience that is so typical of canids. After 4 months of nursing and treating him, Terefe had recovered and was eager to go away. Fitted with a radio collar, and after vaccinating him, Terefe was released near his family pack. This is the first photo of Terefe in his new wild life. He spent time with his family, they reunited, but soon after he started traveling around the mountains. It was difficult to keep tabs on Terefe during the rainy season, as you can see. But 2 weeks ago, the team spotted Terefe at a distance at this place, called the 8 Marshes. Here, Terefe found good food and places to hide. We've heard from the local villagers that Terefe was close to the farmland, seen limping and with a collar. The shepherds were suspicious and had been chasing him away. But today, everyone in this community knows of Terefe's story, and they are not disturbing him anymore. For example, this man from the local community offered to keep an eye on him, and he reports back regularly to us using his son's mobile phone. We don't know if Terefe will come back to his pack. We think he's looking for a new partner as the breeding season comes. But this is the first wolf ever nursed back to health and release. He is giving us hope that wolves can be recovered in the future, and that they can be translocated to areas where they disappear or might be at risk of extinction. Which takes me to my second story about resilience, and in this case, about a pair of wolves that started a new population. The Lanta is a small, beautiful Afro-alpine range. An outbreak of rabies and disease distemper and canine distemper brought this population to extinction 3 years ago. So we were surprised when in December, the local wolf ambassador called us to say that he spotted a pair of wolves roaming in this area. And when the monitoring team came to visit them, they found a litter of 5 healthy pups. We don't know where this pair of wolves came from, but we are confident that the conservation work that we have been doing in the Lanta for the past years has created the right conditions for this amazing recovery. Land conversion to agriculture has been eating away the little habitat left for wolves here. Today, fields of cultivated grasslands like this one in the photo create habitats for rodents and wolves and a very valuable income for the local communities. This work has been part of our biodiversity-friendly future project. Like no other project, this one illustrates that we can help people, help the mountains, and help the wolves. This particular initiative, we call it the Wasa Gardens. We are helping local farmers to cultivate this local grass called wasa. After 2 years, they can harvest the grass, they use it for themselves or sell it in the local markets. In these ways, the communities are restoring an ecosystem and have stopped harvesting the wild wasa from the place where the wolves live. A second initiative is called Saving Fuel, Saving Wolves. Here we are training and helping cooperatives of women to produce and commercialize fuel-saving stoves. These stoves consume half of the firewood which the women themselves collect in the mountains and produce far less smoke, with health benefits for them and their families. And finally, the Highland Honey Initiative supports local honey producers. They're benefiting financially from this good product, and they are also starting to protect the local erica vegetation where the bees feed. With your continued support, we are able to scale up our biodiversity-friendly future project. And we are starting to work with new communities, helping more people, helping more wolves. And I wish I had time to mention each and every one of the members of the Ethiopian Wolf Conservation Program. EWCP is like a family. Some of them have been with us for over 20 years now. We see their children graduate from university and babies come in the younger families. Like a family, EWCP has grown with time. From that small team I joined in the 90s to a program that employs over 50 people across Ethiopia, helping save the Ethiopian wolves. In their name, I can tell you that they are immensely grateful for the help they receive from so many of you. You are changing their lives. You are helping wolves, and you are making this world a better place. With every new pup that is born, there is hope for the Ethiopian wolves. But they need your help. So please, get in contact with us if you also want to become a member of the EWCP family. Thank you.